Hey everybody, Dr. Jeff back here with another Menopausal Monday. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about labs or laboratory work that could be considered in and around menopause to understand a little bit about where your hormones might lie and maybe some other labs that could be done at the same time to understand a little bit more about things like your thyroid health, your blood sugar health, etc. So let's start with some basic hormone labs. So the first thing I might do is check an estradiol and a testosterone and a progesterone in women as they start to move into menopause. Now, recognize that these hormones definitely can fluctuate from day to day. Sometimes it's best to look at those labs over a period of time. The best day of the month if a woman is still cycling to get these labs done, in my opinion, would be on day 21 of a menstrual cycle. If the woman is not menstruating any longer, then it doesn't really matter so much in terms of the day of the month because simply we don't know. Another lab that could be considered, especially if a woman is questioning whether or not she's in menopause at this point, or maybe she stopped bleeding and she's not sure if this is what it is something called an FSH. And FSH stands for follicle stimulating hormone. And essentially, it's a hormone that is secreted by the pituitary gland of the brain in response to low ovarian function. So an FSH that is elevated might give us some reassurance that that a woman is not ovulating any longer and is in fact in menopause. Another lab that could be considered and is quite predictive, in fact, if the woman is within 2 or 3 months of having her last menstrual cycle, and that is something called an AMH, or anti-Mullerian hormone. It's a lab that we use for other purposes, but some good research in the last couple of years has shown that when an AMH is of a certain value, it's somewhat predictive of a woman simply getting ready to have her last menstrual cycle. That is actually almost more predictive than the FSH. The FSH, again, has been kind of a long-term predictor. We've used it for a while in medicine, but it's quite variable. It plays into things like if a woman is on birth control pills, her FSH will be off. It certainly has variability from month to month as well. So the FSH, while it's been used, I would say is starting to fall out of favor for the anti-Mullerian hormone as a predictor of menopause. Briefly here, I also look at thyroid. I want to make sure that a woman is being assessed with a TSH, that's thyroid stimulating hormone. And I also make sure that I'm checking the free hormone levels, the free T4 and the free T3, especially if there's ongoing things like fatigue, difficulty with sleep, difficulty with weight, difficulty with body temperature. I'll often want to check thyroid hormones as well. To round this off, I always want to make sure I check a good blood sugar, both the fasting blood sugar and a long-term sugar control called a hemoglobin A1C. And in my clinic, I'm even adding in something called a fasting insulin level to help us understand if a woman is developing any insulin resistance. I find that this test is somewhat confirmatory and or important, especially if there's weight gain going on with the difficulty in losing weight. So hopefully this is a great start for you to have a conversation with your provider. If you have more questions or concerns, please post below. We'd love to hear and drive that conversation. Until next time, be safe and be well. Thanks.